Now, boys, you all know the rules. It's twice around the inside, once around the outside.
Such vulgarity.
HBR Talk with Hannah Wallen. In 1965, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross began researching patient reactions to receiving a terminal diagnosis, doing a series of patient interviews to gather information. In 1969, she and co-author David Kessler published their book, On Death and Dying, which included a description of Kubler-Ross's now well-known 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. This was soon adapted to grief over loss of a loved one. Kubler-Ross proposed that this model could be applied to any dramatic life-changing situation, and by the 1980s it had been adapted to and become commonly used in business management under another now well-known label, the change curve, this time with 3 stages. The first is shock and denial, the second, anger and depression, and the third, acceptance and integration. In his July 2017 Psychology Today article, Why the 5 Stages of Grief Are Wrong, Lessons from the Non-Stages of Grief, David B. Feldman, Ph.D., pointed out that later research found variations in how grievers process these stages, with some grievers lingering for an extended time on a single stage, some skipping stages, some bouncing around them in a different order, and for some, the addition of stages Kubler-Ross hadn't thought of. Dr. Feldman cited Michael Shermer's November 2008 Scientific American article, 5 Fallacies of Grief, Debunking Psychological Stages, which points out that stage theories in general have little evidentiary support. However, he pointed out some lessons that can be taken from Kubler-Ross's work. He explained that denial has a purpose, as described by psychologist and psychological trauma expert Ronnie Janoff-Bullman, whose observations have led her to conclude that denial is the brain's way of making sure that the griever doesn't get too high a dose of grief at once, using denial breaks to allow the brain time to process the difficult emotions involved. This is consistent with what we've seen of organized feminism's reactions to the changing environment in which their activism takes place. Rather than process information that contradicts their various victim narratives, reevaluate their political positions, and modernize their demands, they dig in their heels, deny anything that doesn't fit their existing outlook, and express anger at whoever has challenged it. And that's where feminists involved in the Title IX-related human resources industry seem to have settled for the long haul. Denial. Shocked. Angry denial. How dare we bring up false accusations? False accusations are not a problem. Sexual misconduct is. And how dare we ask for consideration for male victims of female sexual assailants? Don't we know that's just not the same? And so what if policy is changing? That doesn't make anything they're doing wrong, does it? Will there ever be any further processing? Will they get to acceptance? Will there be integration? If so, it doesn't appear to be coming anytime soon. As we learned last week on HBR Talk, even though Education Department policy has changed, university Title IX administrators and other related workers have little interest in updating their procedures to comply with the new policy, and will only do so where they have no other choice. It seems that, for the time being, we'll hear nothing from them but complaints. This week on HBR Talk, we're going to listen to and discuss some of the talks given at this year's Title IX conference attended by Undercover Badger Andrew. The discussion streams on multiple platforms. You can tune in Thursday at 7:30 p.m. via the link in the low bar, or find other viewing and listening options for that time or later on badgerfeed.com.